Standard are like that.
No, not at all. The Case of Koilos is where Jessup's going to start, which is actually a pretty telling first land, given the deck that he's playing.
Well, I believe that he is on 4 cards.
Only got quite a bit, yes. He does have an island to play, fortunately for him. Tenjum will draw a card. You saw entry draw for the Jessup Citadel. His second land is a Plains, and now there's a Fleece main line. Pass the turn back.
Zach Allen, if you're in the room, please report to the stage.
As we have said many times this weekend, as most of you who are watching probably know, Esper Dragons was really the deck to beat coming into this weekend. So you'll see some decks like this Abzan Megamorph deck that look to have a pretty good matchup and are geared to beat this sort of strategy.
It's definitely the talk of the format right now.
Yeah.
It's where people's attention are focused, whether it's playing the deck or it's trying to beat it. And I think that we were kind of already on the cusp of seeing Den Protector, Deathmist Raptor all over the place. And now with Esper Dragons being more popular, if you were going to play a deck to try to beat Esper Dragons, it feels like there's a variety of options, but that green base of morphs is really important.
Master of the Unseen there for Tenjum, and Jessup has a Dismal Backwater, so he'll gain a little bit of life before we head back over to Tenjum. Here's a Courser. That's going to resolve. Top card is a Plains. That'll enter the battlefield, little life gain. Next card, Abzan Charm. There's a Temple. Take a look at the top card. That'll stay on top as we pass the turn back. Abzan Charm to draw. Thoughtseize is next. In comes the Courser. And of course, with the information that Courser is providing, yes, it's giving Jessup the information, but I think it's a little more helpful for Tenjum, especially if he wants to activate that Master of the Unseen.
It's a lot of manipulation. For example, if he doesn't want to draw the Thoughtseize and wants to give himself another crack at a land, he can go ahead and just turn that into a manifest token. He could also, just the option of drawing it if he's feeling so inclined, doing other stuff with his mana, so.
Thoughtseize placed on the bottom from the Temple of Mali. Top card of the deck is Deathmist Raptor, which is not a bad one to manifest.
That's how you draw it up right there.
Yep. There's a Case of Koilos. And Jessup can just pass the turn. And there's a manifest. Could be anything, or it could just be a Deathmist Raptor. It's going to be face up here with a token over it, as they just want to make it easier on each other.
Yep.
What it is.
All the information's face up, so you don't want to necessarily have to be counting, is that the second manifest token or the third manifest token? So Tenjum just being a little cooperative here, helping out with the information.
Temple of Plenty, trigger the Courser. Top card of the deck is Master of the Unseen. We'll see where Tenjum wants to scry that. Looks like it's going to go to the bottom shelf. Not too much of a surprise there.
And not really a life gain matchup, so the second copy of that card does very little.
Here come the beatdowns. In for 4 points of damage and just a passing of the turn. Tenjum really using Master of the Unseen to his advantage here. Not really going to cast any spells into counter magic.
Yeah, remember that Jessup there, the previous turn, scryed at the top, untapped, and did nothing. So it means most likely it wasn't a dragon that he set on top of the deck. So what is it at that point? Most likely scenario is Dig Through Time, which he can't cast just yet, or he left something like Crux of Fate up. And in both scenarios, I think Andrew Tenjum is better served just trying to grind out as much value as possible against with Mastery of the Unseen. No big rush.
Courser will put that Windswept Teeth into play. The draw for the turn for Tenjum was a Fleece main line. Now the top of his deck is a Den Protector, which again is quite powerful with Mastery of the Unseen. In comes Tenjum with his creatures. And those are manifest from Master of the Unseen. They have not been turned face up yet. Deathmist Raptor can be. Abzan Charm, well, it can't.
And Mastery, a huge part of this game plan, too, of trying to just grind down Esper Dragons. Now, it's a little bit less effective here because, compared to a deck like Blue-Black or Blue-White, because Jessup can play something big to the board that validates a lot of manifest tokens. But still, the game is going to often just be about card advantage and board presence, and Mastery of the Unseen helps in both regards.
And just a passing of the turn. It's time to manifest yet again. Here's the Den Protector. It'll be face down. Jessup Citadel's on top of the deck. Maybe Tenjum wants to sacrifice his Windswept Teeth, make sure he doesn't draw that card. Maybe not. Looks like he will. So he'll stay at 24. Lose one and then gain 1 back to the courser. And get a new look at the top card of his deck here in just a moment as he searches out a forest. Get a lot of looks at a lot of different cards when you're playing this sort of strategy with courser.
Yep, there's a variety of ways to be manipulating fetch lands and Master of the Unseen, and it's all very small operation stuff. It's easy to lose track of if you're not trying to play as efficiently as possible, but it is a big part of where the edge comes from in playing decks like this.
Abzan Charm. Looks like Jessup might have something to do finally. Maybe a little Slumgar scoring action. Yep. And now here's your Removal Spell on Bioblight. That'll take care of Den Protector. Again, Bioblight deals, it gives Meister -3 to a card and all cards with the same name, but manifest all, they don't have the same name, so it doesn't wipe them all away.
Please report to side events. Two-headed giant team.
No, they don't have the same name. They're just all called the same thing.
Correct. What, are you confused?
I'm just saying, it's not necessarily the clearest, but I trust the rules experts who crank out the specifics of the rules. They're doing things the right way.
Indeed. Jessup will draw a card. Might be his last one for this particular game. Tenjum is able to play an 8th land. He's going to play a Thoughtseize. This is the old info Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Ultimate Price, Fleece Mainline, Siege Rhino, Fleece Mainline, Heroes Downfall, Temple of Silence, got my info, concede the game. Enter Tenjum will win game number 1 here over Andrew Jessup. Abzan Megamorph, up a game over Esper Dragons.
Andrew on 4 cards. Andrew Jessup that game on 4 cards. Never really found anything to do. And Tenjum had a draw that game that I feel would have competed with a good 7-card hand. Mastery of the Unseen, a lot of card advantage, card drawing, and so forth.
Sideboard time, which means we take a look at Andrew Jessup's to start. 2 Duress and a Thoughtseize, 2 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Bioblight, 3 Drought and Sorrow, 1 Virulent Plague, a Foul-Tongue Invocation, 2 Ashiok Nightmare Weaver, a Dragonlord's Prerogative, and an Ugin, the Spirit Dragon.
So I like bringing in the Ugin here, the Dragonlord's Prerogative, because the matchup is a bit on the slower side. I think the 1 copy of Foul-Tongue Invocation is fine here. I think Virulent Plague is a reasonable card to bring in here as well. There's no superstars here. Andrew's deck is pretty robust at attacking, so the Planeswalkers will be good but not great. And Tenjum's deck is capable of putting on pressure, so Jessup can only go so slow, only go so deep into cards like Dragonlord's Prerogative. So he's got some okay options here, but nothing spectacular.
What do we see on the other side?
3 copies of Drown Sorrow, 2 Duress, 2 Elspeth Sun's Champion, 2 Glare of Heresy, an End of Hostilities, a Self-Inflicted Wound, a Foul-Tongue Invocation, an Ultimate Price, a Dramoka's Command, and a Thoughtseize. I'll take the additional copy of Thoughtseize here if I'm in Tenjum's spot here. It goes up to 4. 2 copies of Duress. I like bringing in the additional copy of Foul-Tongue Invocation, and I think the 2 copies of Elspeth are okay here.
These players are going to shuffle up here for game number 2. And Jessup will be on the play, but we are going to a little debut here. Sometimes we have a little fun here in the booth.
So this is a just before we get into this, a promotional slide that I've not seen yet that I'm expected to expound upon.
That's correct.
All right, fire it up.
This is why you get paid the big bucks, buddy. Bang! This is why we pay you.
That's pretty great.
So, regional championships is something that we have had before, and we will be clearly doing again the summer of 2015. August 1st is the date. And before, we give away the playmat to the first 200 players who do come to the tournament. And we're doing that yet again. And this one, well, whoever designed this in office just really had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information. This sort of just promotes itself.
This
is just great.
We got some things hiding out here. There's like a dragon, the little bee in the corner. That bee's starting to grow on me a little bit.
It's all the creature collection people.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to.
We got the kitten. We got the mammoth who's trying to hide in the background a little bit.
Oh, where?
2 more spots in the very last
Where's the mammoth?
event of the day, which
The mammoth is behind the dragon,
2 more spots
up in the upper left. It's hiding a little bit.
Got it. Okay, it is hiding a little bit. Delver Squeakrits is there.
Yeah, you see a little bit of cheese. Yeah.
We got the wolf, the rat. No skull for the rat here. The bunny with a bow tie. This is good. This is good art. See, now I got the mammoth. I found it. It took me a minute.
It's a little hidden there.
It is a little hidden in the back there. I think the ooze is hidden on the right corner, too.
Yep.
What a wonderful play, Matt. First 200 players that register for your regionals. And, of course, we'll have more information about regionals. I know they're locking down the locations right now and all that stuff, but you can find out more information and actually just get a good look at this playmat. StarCityGames.com/regionals for more information.
Again, this is occurring Pro Tour weekend, so if you're not qualified for the Pro Tour, head over to your closest regional championship. Do this now every Pro Tour weekend, states and regionals.
See, that was easy. Just
Was.
first time seeing it, boom, just sells itself.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to go and get one of those things? We don't need the information.
I think that, you know, there seems to be a pretty recurring theme here that animals in certain respects can always get a laugh out of me.
Duh. Well, you're just an easy sell as far as laughter is concerned. It's not hard.
Well, not really.
Just some,
I'm pretty curmudgeon-y.
well, yeah, but I know that I can just I know that you can just go to animals and you will
Yep.
laugh.
Animals are pretty great, though.
I can't bring any high level humor because then you'll probably analyze it too much and tell me I've said something wrong. but-
Ruin the joke for you. Ruin the joke for everyone listening at home.
Correct.
Exactly.
But if
Can't
I
do
just
it.
dial up an animal with big eyes and a smile, boom, little laughter.
Yep.
It's not hard. It's not hard. Andrew Jessup and Andrew Tenjum is the match we're watching here. Esper Dragons versus Abzan Megamorph, two of the bigger decks in the room. Esper Dragons we knew was going to be popular. Abzan Megamorph had an idea it would be popular.
Not
But
to
didn't expect this.
Not to the degree to which we've seen so far this weekend. There's been a lot of it.
I think you can really thank Robert Vaughn for that, with his performance last weekend in Providence. I know he didn't get very much camera time. And you know, you don't never know how people are going to really assess the information from a top 8 of a tournament, but you know, he was the player playing Abzan Megamorph last week in Providence in the top 8. I know the story, of course, was Oliver Tomiko winning the tournament, the 14-year-old prodigy, and Boswell really destroying everyone with Abzan aggro. But Robert Vaughn's deck is really having an impact on things here.
Well, there's been a lot of momentum towards Dem Protector and Death Misraptor in a variety of green decks at this point. So Abzan's a deck that plays with a bunch of really awesome spells. So that deck's probably more in the market for Dem Protector naturally than a lot of the other options.
And I'm a Den Protector, Death Misraptor kind of guy. Maybe I'll do that next weekend.
Okay.
We'll see. No guarantees. As I said, whatever Jerry tells me to play, I'm going to play.
Sounds like a recipe for some draws. I mean, I've had some trouble with that before.
I can pick it up a little bit. I can pick it up. I can.
I mean, if you want to play, you know, like a mono green deck with Death Misraptor and Dem Protector, knock yourself out. I think that's okay. But I'm looking over here at Tenjum Ballista, and I'm seeing a lot of temples, some Zanzip Citadels. Not the fastest thing.
It's just I was a little tired last time.
Okay.
I wasn't all the way awake. That's all.
21 Forests, 4 Elvish Mystics.
I'm not playing. Just stop. I'm not playing whatever you're.
Only spells to get back are Gather Courage, and I'll find some other pump spell.
Yeah, nope. Not playing this pile of garbage that you're listing off right now. I have no interest. A Temple of Deceit. You know I played Esper at like 3 tournaments, got no draws, right? With Sphinx
Well, I know that
Revelation
now.
stuff. Yeah, that's just. It's all right. I can figure it out. I can do this. An island and passing of the turn. There's a Temple of Malady.
4 Boon Satyr.
Nope. I like that card too. Just not interested. We got a discard spell coming. That's a Thoughtseize. Couple Rhinos. Master of the Unseen.
Siege Rhino is a nice card, but this is exactly the type of hand that Jessup wants to see here. He can take Master if he's feeling so inclined, and then dissolves, downfalls, and such. Those check Siege Rhino.
You see the lands there, 2 Windswept Seas and a Forest. There goes Mastery. I had a feeling he would select that. There's an island. Being able to represent Slumgar Scorn is Andrew. We go back to Mr. Tenjum. A forest and a passing of the turn. Back to Jessup as he crosses that forest off his list. An island to draw here for Jessup. Perhaps another discard spell? Yep, Thoughtseize. Tenjum doesn't want to show his hand this time. Maybe he has a card like Abzan Charm over there. Yep.
And with a hand with 2 more Siege Rhinos, I really like just casting the Charm here, because the most likely scenario is he's taking one of the Rhinos anyway.
Sure.
But you don't want to give him the option.
Death Misraptor, Courser of Crewfix. Actually, pretty good cards to draw. Might have some interest in taking the old Courser now instead of the Rhino. We'll
Yeah,
see.
Tenjum just needs spells. He needs
Yeah.
things to do, so. Now this has gotten a lot more complicated.
To say the least, because now he has to take Courser. Where he may have rather taken a Rhino. There's a land. Passing of the turn. Tenjum will draw. I believe Foul Tongue Invocation was the draw.
And that's a great one to have concealed because Jessup did not see that card in game one. And it's not very common in Abzan Megamorph decks, at least not yet. So it's possible based on the hand that Jessup saw last turn that he just might slap down one of his big dragons next turn if he has the ability to do so.
Deathmist Raptor is going to resolve. Tempo of Silence is the land for the turn. Tenjum going to scry. Top card. Going to stay on top. Pass the turn back. Jessup will draw.
Also, Jessup might be having some colored mana difficulties right now. No white mana and only a single black.
No fifth one.
Yep.
In comes the Raptor. That'll work just fine. Tenjum with a Courser. Refusing to play his Siege Rhinos right now.
Does not want to play that right into a disdainful stroke if he can avoid it.
Slumgar Scorn is another card to be worried about. In 4 spike mode. Here is Slumgar Scorn. Dragonlord Ojutai. So that'll counter the Courser. There's a land. Pass that turn back. Jessup will draw.
And now Tenjum, interesting enough, kind of rooting for Jessup to draw something like Kids Solos.
Yeah.
Because it's just perfect for him if he gets to hit that with a Foul Tongue Invocation. I mean, if Jessup's missing land drops, it's pretty good for Tenjum as well.
Yeah, now he's rooting for him to hit some sort of white source to play his Dragonlord Ojutai and try to stabilize a little bit. Rhino. Scorn it. Show Dragonlord Ojutai. There's a Windswept Teeth. I think he's going to sacrifice both of these, and he will, to try to slide in Mastery of the Unseen.
And this might be the real thing that Tenjum was trying to set up here. Because he feels like he's got the short game wrapped up here with Deathmist Raptor or Siege Rhino. So he just needs to have some insurance in case the game goes long. And Mastery does exactly that.
We will see if this resolves. And it will. And we'll go back Jessup's way. Having some real land issues right now.
All of this a consequence of Tenjum ripping that Abzan Charm on the third turn.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Because, you know, Thoughtseize into Thoughtseize, so good for Jessup given that Tenjum's hand was threat light, but Abzan Charm yielded 2 big threats, and now Jessup's been trying to play catch up the whole way through.
And there's dig through time. Jessup lays out the 7 cards he'll be looking at. Of course, he'll be taking 2 of those with him. But Andrew Jessup has a lot of work to get back into this game. I know it may not look like much when there's just a Deathress Raptor and a Master of the Unseen over there on that side of the table, but it's quite a bit.
Tenjum's angles of attack right now are very diverse. He's got a good clock with Deathmist Raptor. He has Mastery of the Unseen, so Jessup can't just stabilize by chaining together a bunch of removal spells. And unbeknownst to Jessup, Tenjum also has Foul Tongue Invocation in hand, which means that if Jessup taps out for a dragon hoping to stabilize that way, that doesn't work either.
Life is pretty tough right now.
That's why you just see people all the time try to diversify their threat packages against control decks, whether it's bringing in Planeswalkers, things like Master of the Unseen. If you're too much on one angle, you're likely to get shut out by a sweeper or a creature you can't kill. or something. When you come from different directions, it's harder for them to match all the answers appropriately to your threats.
Dig through time's all set. There's a land in Dismal Backwater. But the shields are very much down here for Andrew Jessup, and we're going to see what Andrew Tenjum can do. Is it more than just a Siege Rhino?
Well, this is a discard spell. That's great for Tenjum, because is he supposed to play Siege Rhino or just manifest a token there? Pretty complicated, but now he gets to find out.
Duress will show you a Dragonlord Ojidai. Looks like Dragonlord Salumgar as well. Bile Blight, Hero's Downfall, and Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Can't take the creatures, but there are some good spells to take in Bile Blight, Hero's Downfall, and Ugin. Don't know if this game will ever get to Ugin, though.
And now at this point, I think Tenjum will probably be best served just holding up Mastery of the Unseen and the Foul Tongue Invocation. In the event that Jessup does draw a land for Dragonlord Slumgar, he could Edict with the trigger on.
Pass that turn back. And it looks like Tenjum may be out of cards at this point, so perhaps the black card he was holding was Duress.
Duress, yep. So now he's just crossing the fingers and hoping that land number 6 doesn't come off. And still not even the end of the world, because the Mastery of the Unseen being played.
Yeah.
And a lot of Jessup's lands come to play tapped, so.
Maybe Bile Blight time, yep. Pass turn back. Tenjum very quickly on tap with no cards in hand. Attack here for 4. Put Jessup down to 1. You have to imagine leave up Mastery. Take a look at the top card here. That card will stay on top. Must be one that Tenjum is happy enough to make into a manifest. That's gonna do it. Sometimes Magic can be simple. Jessup had some mana issues and some mulligan issues, and that accounts for a second loss. Andrew Tenjum's gonna move on to 6-1 here with Abzan Megamorph.
Still not a simple game from Tenjum's side of the table by any stretch of the imagination, because he has to be worried about a variety of stuff, like the 6th land coming off the top. What happens if Jessup has access to Crux of Fate and so forth, but Jessup never really able to amount much of a defense there, and Tenjum wins both games pretty comfortably.
Well, we'll be coming back to the booth here in just a moment before we do move over to Jake Mondello versus Jadine Klump-Herons. Jadine, a player who we see